to learn JavaScript. And so there's a number of tools, and when I look at what's going on in my area and what I've had contact with, there's some really exciting tools coming out to do that. And we started off with Babbage and his difference engines and analytical engines, and now we have inference engines, knowledge engines, and visualization engines. And this is the names that people use for them. So I'm just reproducing what people call them. But you have things like Watson PAS, which is this was a project that was started by my boss, Dave Ferrucci, before he left IBM. And it was the idea that we're going to do inference from text. And so what it's doing is it's taking some input symptoms of a patient in, and then it's trying to create a graph, a reasoning graph that shows if you have this, what does that imply? And what's really exciting to us is that it's doing that from text. So it wasn't some expert told us, if your face is often expressionless, then this happens. Rather, it's learning that from documents. And that creates this reasoning flow so it can actually do a diagnosis. There's other things like dealing with large amounts of open data or whatever data you might be working with, like things like Enigma and Alpha. So Enigma collects open data from many public institutions and puts them together in a common format so you can explore it. Wolfram Alpha has a lot of data on the back end, which is structured data. We call it structured data. It's not text, but it's numbers and the relationship between them. And when you query Wolfram Alpha, you can use natural language. You don't have to be a JavaScript programmer or a SQL programmer or whatever. You can just ask it your question in English, and it tries to interpret your English, map it to the right tables, and put those tables together to give you an answer. Then there's also visualization engines. So there are now places, to things like IBM Many Eyes, also Data Hero, where you just drop your data in, and it will make visualizations. Data Hero will even suggest what visualization you should have. So I think this is very exciting, because this means that we've seen over the history of my field, the problems we work on have been defined by the people in the field. And if there's a barrier to that, to be in the field, if there's a barrier to learning how to program, then that's going to affect who can actually decide what problems we work on. So it's really exciting to me to think that now these tools are going to make it so more people can work on more problems. More people can get access to data. More people can, instead of having to learn how to program, can just ask a system for their question and get an answer back. I think at the same time, though, that there's a responsibility there in that you don't want to be the person that comes back and says 47% of all jobs are going to be computerized because I think they are. So there's also this, it's great to get data, we get really excited about that, and it's great to get new tools, but there's also this commitment to learn about where the data is coming from, to understand it and understand what your tools do. So I think I'll end then by a quote from novelist Stephen LaMarche that, at least of today, as of today, insight remains handmade. Thank you.